The VEGA program has a powerful tool for creating various crops and slices on point cloud. In this video, we will talk only about crops. We will talk about static and dynamic slices in another video. The first command I want to tell you about is crop point clouds by pick. Let's take a look at this point cloud from above. And let's look specifically at this point. Crop point clouds by pick. I select the area that I want to crop. The crop point clouds by pick command finds the point cloud that's below that area, and we get the crop. Let's look at it from different angles. To do this, I will use a very handy command in the VEGA program 3D Orbit View, which gives the user the ability to select a point, which we will select the point of view around it. This is the simplest crop you can do with the VEGA command. Crop point clouds by pick can work with one point cloud or with several point clouds. Let's do a Ctrl-Z and copy these point clouds so that we have multiple point clouds. Now, using the same command, we can select an area that intersects multiple point clouds and crop each of them. AutoCAD has a crop command, but it doesn't allow you to work with multiple point clouds at once. If I select multiple point clouds and try to run this command, it will ask me to select a specific point cloud. The second problem when using this command is more serious. I start my selection from here. Then when I pan, the area I selected to crop moves depending on the pan. It's very inconvenient. VEGA works in a completely different way. I start from here. Then when I pan, the boundaries of the selected area remain in the same place where I originally selected the point. You see, I started near this concrete building, and I keep coming back to it. This will work the same way if several point clouds are selected. If for some reason the command does not find a point cloud in the field I selected, I will get an error message and will be prompted to select a point cloud. In this case, this will not help because the area I selected is outside the point cloud. The next command is crop point clouds by polylines. I am now creating closed polylines. These can be polylines consisting of straight line segments or arcs. Let's change the transparency of the point cloud to see what I am drawing. The polylines should be closed. We can draw some more polylines. For example, around these cars. Like I said, it could be a polyline with arcs. Before we run the command, let's change the transparency. Select the Keep External Crop function. And we have a very neat crop. Notice that the arcs are cut very neatly too. It looks like cheese. If we look at it from the side, it still looks like cheese. Let's do Ctrl-Z and run the same command, but with the function Keep Internal Crop Single Part. We select the same polylines and point cloud, and we have a single point cloud with a few islands cut out. Let's do Ctrl-Z again and run the crop point cloud command. This time we will select the internal crop separated parts function. This means that we will get not just one point cloud, but several point clouds each on its own layer. Before we run the command, let's open the layers. Point cloud is on a layer called point cloud. Polyline is on layer 0. But it doesn't really matter where the polyline is. I run the same crop point cloud command and select the Keep Internal Crop Separated Parts function. I choose to create them on different layers and erase the original polylines. Let's roll back. Ctrl-Z. I run the same crop point cloud command and select the Keep External and Internal Groups feature. Select the same settings and run the command. Notice that the external point cloud remained on the point cloud layer. This was the crop point cloud by polylines command. The next command is crop point cloud by path. The name of the command makes it clear what we're talking about. Let's get closer to this point and look at it from the side. This is the wall that I want to cut out to make it easier to work with. Of course, I could do a regular crop, but there's a better way. Let's change the transparency of the point cloud so that we can see the polyline that I'm going to draw along the wall. It's not very precise, but it doesn't matter in this case. This is the area I'm interested in. Let's change the transparency back. Let's run the point cloud crop point cloud by path command. We need to select a single polyline or multiple polylines and point cloud. Create new point clouds on different layers. Yes. You need to set the width for crop. I've got crop on a polyline running along a wall. This is the wall that we've carefully cropped out. This is a very handy tool. Of course, multiple polylines can also be selected. Let's draw another one. Let's set the same width. As a result, I've got 2 point clouds. Each of them is on its own layer. Each of these layers can be closed or opened. With this command, you can make crop not only in world coordinate system, but also in user coordinate system. Crop is always created in Z coordinate, but we can choose any view and assign it as user coordinate system. Let's check how this works. Note we are currently working in world coordinate system. Let's look at the point cloud from this side. We are still in the world coordinate system. Z is pointing up. Let's change the coordinate system using the UCS command. Instead of world, we choose current view. We'll draw a polyline. We want to make a crop for this concrete beam. Let's put a point here, 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 and go back. Polyline can be either open or closed. We don't have any closed object, so let's just draw a closed polyline. We select polylines and point cloud. You can select multiple polylines. There is no limit to the number of selected polylines and the number of point clouds. We set the buffer value. Let's set it to 1.5. We've got 2 crops. If we look at this side view, we can see that crops are made exactly on these polylines. Let's do something unexpected. It's not particularly necessary for the job, but it will show you the power of this command. First of all, let's change the transparency. I'm going to write the text now. The text insertion point is here. Set the height of the text. The rotation angle is 0. I'm writing the word VEGA. Once again, what I'm showing you is not practical for everyday work, but it shows the great possibilities of this command. Let's use the explode text command from AutoCAD's Express tools. It converts text to polylines. As a result of the explode text command, we have several 2-dimensional polylines. Let's change the transparency and run the crop point cloud by path command. The width of the crop is 6 meters. What I got as a result is individual point clouds. So with this command, you can make any configuration you want and crop out any shape you want from the point cloud. The last command in this section is crop by brush. This command works as follows. I specify a point on the point cloud and crop around the perimeter of this circle. I can see the coordinates of the place where I am working. I can increase or decrease the radius of the circle by pressing the plus or minus keys. It's similar to how Photoshop works. There's another feature of this command. Let's draw a closed polyline with a completely free shape. Brush type. By default, it is a circle, but there is a free shape option. I select that option and choose polyline. My pointer is now shaped like a polyline. By pressing the plus or minus keys, you can increase or decrease the size of the shape. Now I can do crop along its boundaries. So I can cut, for example, houses or some other shapes. You should not use this command too much, point to point, and do a lot of crop in one point cloud. Because in AutoCAD a lot of crop in one point cloud slows you down. Note that the more I crop, the slower this command starts to work. These were the crop point cloud tools. We will tell you about the commands for dynamic and static slice and how to use them in another video.